Now live.
That wasn't a thumb. That was a finger. Okay, now we can go live. Good morning, everyone. Happy to be back. We are fresh back. I guess it's been, what, like a month?
It's been a while. I lost time.
Yeah. Fashion Week went by so fast, but we are back. And I am here with my lovely model, Heather.
Hello.
And Heather, do you want to tell them how we met?
Yes, we actually met last year in Miami Swim Week. I loved how Allie did my hair the first time, so I kind of made sure I got her at every show. Yeah, love her.
Perfect. I did not pay her to say that, I swear. Anyways, yes, so I met Heather at Miami Swim Week. It's been almost a year. And when we were chatting, I found out she lives in Orange County, and I was like, oh my God, you have to come model for us. So here she is. Time just flies. So today's live is going to be all about how to get things done faster in the salon, at a photo shoot, at a wedding, you know, wherever you might be where you might need to just like kick it up a notch. So there is a fine art to that. So you want to go faster, but you want to have a plan for how you're going to execute that, because what you don't want to do is be like a maniac with your running around with your head cut off. So it's all about like the proper planning, products, and techniques to allow you to work faster without looking like a psycho. So there is a whole series of tricks and tips that I could give you guys as far as like being behind the chair, what products I use, and then tricks when you're actually styling the hair. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm gonna do a fun hairstyle on Heather. And while I'm working, I'm gonna start just kind of talking through different scenarios and what I would do to speed that up. So if there's any questions when people start hopping on, I will stop and happy to answer questions about what I'm actually doing, but the tips I'm gonna give as I'm working. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first scenario that I can think of where you would actually want to work faster would obviously be behind the chair. So a lot of times behind the chair, a lot of things come up where we have to like get a move on. But again, you never want the client to feel like you're rushing them or hurrying them along. Like they're the most important thing, and you want to like make sure they know that. So first thing that I personally do is, honestly, I've been doing hair a very long time behind the chair, 20 years, but even right off the bat, I started working with an assistant. I feel like now with an assistant, I'm able to get far more done in a day. But when I first started out, they just were able to help me with blow drying. So Abby, do you want to come over here? So this is my lovely assistant, Abby. Come over here, babe, so you're on the other side. So Abby's here today as an example of speeding up the process, because we're gonna do 3 looks on Heather today, and 2 of them have to be shampooed and blow dried, which when you are shampooing at the salon, that is definitely, the blow dry is definitely what takes the most time. So when you have an assistant, you can blow dry at the same time, which is something that Abby and I do every day in the salon. So as the hairdresser, like the lead hairdresser or whatever you want to call it, I would be like blow drying the front of the hair, and then usually Abby's blow drying the back. So that way I can see her technique, and also she can kind of see what I'm doing, which helps like everything go faster. It's also an extra set of hands. Do you want to braid that one? It's an extra set of hands in the salon. And honestly, like, what's the reaction of clients when we're blow drying together?
We always tell them that they're getting princess treatment and that it's making it go by faster, not only for them, but for us as well.
So it's like queen for a day. So most people do not feel like, oh my God, they're rushing me through my service. No, it's more like, wow, I'm so cool. I get to have 2 hairdressers working on my hair.
And they love that.
So that is one trick, is like if you can figure out a way to get an assistant, not only is it going to help you like speed through the process, but it also, like, your clients love it because you're finishing them faster and they're getting the royal treatment. So that is something that we do. And then let's see if this works. What products do we use on every blow dry? At least the two.
Every blow dry, we always use the blonde oil. We use
What do we spray on it?
the 7 Seconds by Unite, and we
Uh-huh.
also use the Blow and Set styling cream.
So what we do is every client gets, I don't have one over here, but every client gets sprayed with 7 Seconds Detangler, which helps us like get through the comb out of the, from wet, like we do color all day. So it helps us comb it out really easily. And then that's always followed up by one of the U oils from Unite. They have light hair, it's blonde oil. If they have heavy or dark hair, then we use the traditional oil. Or, I mean, in the salon, she's not wrong. I typically go towards this one. It's just a little bit of a lighter finish, but, you know, both are great options. And a lot of people don't know, these like really, really increase the speed of how you're blow drying it. So not only does the brush go faster through it, is it gonna have a shinier finish, it's a heat protectant, but it also allows you just to get through the blow dry faster. You can put those back, Abby. And then another thing that we can do you wanna grab that blow dry cream, that bigger one? This one right here? So another product that's really great to use in the salon is the 7 Seconds Blowout Cream. This one, a little bit goes a long ways. You're gonna put it in your hands and then just go all the way through, you know, wet hair. And then it's gonna increase the blow dry time, and it's also gonna make your blowout last longer, which is gonna save your client time. So they're gonna be able to use that blow dry, you know, have it last them longer. I remember when they were testing out this product, when we brought it in, they had people come in and they did a blowout on them using that product and then sent them to the gym. And people were finding that the blowout even lasted them through a gym workout. So this is great. Yes, save us time, get through the blow dry faster, but also the client saves time because they're not having to wash their hair as often. So when I think of blow drying, or I mean, when I think of like saving time, you can put it back. Those are the products that I always gravitate towards. So that would be for like wet to dry styling. Now, there's sometimes it happens in the salon where the client is like, oh my gosh, I gotta go, we gotta get out of here. So one of the curling techniques, so those were product techniques to speed up time, right? Help, get yourself help, what products to use, having a plan. Now, as far as tools go, if I wanted to speed up time, if they have long hair, I always try to use a longer curling iron. This is gonna allow you to curl more hair faster. I go down in size. So this is 1 inch instead of 1 1/4 or 1.5 inches. And then you're just gonna be able to take larger sections with that. So you could probably curl a client's hair in 5 minutes, not doing a ton of sections and just using that iron to get through the hair as quickly as possible. Again, that's more if the client is in a rush. Like if we're just behind, we're gonna give the full on treatment. But if the client's like, I gotta get out of here, I hate to have someone leave wet. Like that doesn't do any good for me or the client. Like I can't check the haircut that way. They're not gonna walk out and have someone compliment their hair. It's just, for me, as much as it is nice not to have to do the style or whatever, that's just a no for me. So if a client starts feeling like they're in a hurry and they have to get out of here, then I'm always like, babe, I promise I can do it in 5 minutes. And when you say that, they're like, okay, yeah, all right. And then, yeah, so the technique to get that done faster, like I said, longer barrel, smaller in size, and then larger sections. Also, you can see that I'm spraying the Max Control spray on each section. This is gonna be a time saver as well because it's gonna make the curl hold the first time. I don't have to worry about it falling out, no recurling, nothing like that. So I'm just going through, like I said, doing larger sections with a smaller curling iron. So then in a wedding or formal styling type scenario, the best way to save yourself some time is to have a really good plan of what you're gonna do before you start. Obviously, I'm gonna show something really quick. So this big old section of hair, we could take a whole bunch of sections on that, but we're saving time today, right? So this is gonna turn into 3 sections. And see how much faster it is working with an assistant. She can be my second set of hands, and then I can just go through and take a big section like that. So yeah, when you're doing any kind of event styling, formal styling, you don't really know who's walking in, what kind of hair they're gonna have, any of that kind of stuff. So it's best to have a plan for like what you think you're gonna do, and then be able to quickly adjust on your feet depending on what the scenario is. So for example, I had a wedding one time and I got there and they added a bridesmaid, which I wanted to say no, but how do you say no to that when it's the wedding day? So that meant that I had a half an hour to do each of the bridesmaids. The maid of honor sat down in the chair and her hair was, I don't know, to her waist for sure. And it was thick, and I mean like massive thick hair. So obviously I could not spend all of my time curling her hair. That would have, taken the entire time that I had for the whole wedding. So in that case, I did something a little similar to what you see in the bottom of Heather's hair, which let me do this piece and I'll turn you so you can see. So sometimes it's more about like work smarter, not harder. So in the case of her having all the hair, you can braid sections. Hold this for me, babe. I'm not gonna do this on her today, but I'm just gonna show you. If this was massive, long, thick hair, and I just braided it like that, which you saw took Abby and I like 5 minutes, you can pull all of these braids out. Can you see me, Mike?
Yeah.
And you can twist them in, and if you pull the braid out enough, it's definitely gonna look like you curled it. So you don't have to waste your time doing all that curl. And on Heather today, I'm gonna give her like a faux bob, so we're actually gonna pin all of this hair up, and then this hair is gonna go over it. So why waste my time curling all of that hair? Like, that's just not necessary. So getting through this curl as quickly as possible. So yeah, so that girl with all the hair, she actually was so happy because we did those braids. We got her hair done really fast, and then really had to hardly use any pins because her hair, the braid was already holding it in. So it wasn't heavy on her. And she sent me pictures the next day of her dancing at like midnight, and it was still held in. So by using a different technique and the right products and everything, she was more comfortable. We got done faster, and it stayed. So all good things. We good?
Yes. Just waving at everybody as they log on.
Oh. Good morning, good morning. Okay, so if you're just logging in, I'm talking a million miles an hour like always. I need to slow it down. But we're talking, well, that goes for today. So we're talking about how to do hair faster. I guess a way would be to talk faster. So I am doing a quick faux bob on Heather right now. I was talking about how you can use a smaller iron to take bigger sections, and then just make sure that you're only curling the hair that you actually need to curl. And then we talked about what products you can use to speed up the blow drying. Another good tip, we were talking about how bridesmaids or models will show up and you don't know what kind of hair they're gonna have. So another tip would be to work with their natural texture. So 7 seconds detangler as well as Boing Moisture detangler are great tools to, if someone has natural curly hair, to get their hair to bounce back up, take away any frizz. So a lot of times, especially, obviously if the person in your chair really has an opinion on what they want, then you have to go with that. But if they're open to suggestions, then I'm all for going with what they have naturally. Like blow drying out hair that looks lovely curly is just doesn't, I love working with natural texture, so that will also save you a lot of time. Okay, so now we have her hair all curled up. Abby, I'm gonna have you stand over here and just hold that for me. And like I was saying earlier, this is just like so much easier having an extra set of hands here. I think we're gonna turn a little more. Just watch your feet because I don't wanna smush you. Is that better to see?
Yes.
Okay, so I just did 3 braids back here. You can see she's got a weft of extensions. I want to create kind of like a faux bob on her. So I'm not going to waste my time curling all that. Like I said, we're just going to kind of flat wrap this in using some pins. And it's also going to be like the cushion or the base of the up style. So it's going to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So I'm going in with my pins and just down and into the hair, just really quickly getting all of this hair up and out of the way. And her weft is pretty loose, but if it was tight, you would just need to make sure that you're not making any of these pins uncomfortable. But you're really just getting the hair out of the way. So I go in with the bobby pin, wavy side down, grab some of the hair, and then just twist it in. And those are all feeling okay, Heather?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So as I was saying before, I met Heather in Miami at Swim Week doing her hair and found out that she lived local. So that is like definitely one of my favorite things about working shows is the people you meet. You never know who you're going to run across, and friends from all over or friends from back home, and then being able to utilize them in other areas of life I think is awesome. So, okay, there you go. 2 seconds, half of her hair is up. And we're just gonna add a little bit of hairspray. I don't mind these little pieces because those will just go up into the style. Now Abby's gonna let that go. Okay, so I'm gonna reload my little bracelet. This also helps give me an extra set of hands. Now, if we're using, I wanna have some texture in this. So you could use texture foam or you could use texturizer. I want to give it a little bit of grit.
Someone's curious what hairspray you're using.
Currently or before?
Before.
That was Max Control. So Max Control spray is pretty much my go-to for all, when I'm doing any kind of curls. You can feel it on the hair. Has good retention, but it'll comb out and you won't feel it at all, which is like the most important thing. So between that and Go 365, but I tend to do the Max Control spray for sure. Okay, so now I've shook out those curls, and now, like I said, faux bob. So, but I like messy. So we're just basically gonna pin that into the base that we already made. So I'm just pulling big sections. This is also a great style if you want to show someone like how their hair might look if they cut it shorter. So if you have a client in your chair and they're like, oh, I'm thinking of cutting my hair, should I? And you're like, oh, well, if you haven't thought about that, I don't really want to do that today. This is a quick thing you can do behind the chair where they'll have an idea of what it looks like shorter without actually cutting anything. So I'm just using the Max Control spray again, kind of getting that in place. Sorry, Abby, I'm like pushing you out of the way. Getting that front exactly where I want it. And then honestly, the rest is just so easy. We're just going to visually see where we want these curls to go and then pin them into place. And then that braid is just super, did I get your braid? That felt like it really got in there.
It didn't hurt. You're good.
yeah, so we're just gonna go in like that. What do we think? Do we like her with short hair? She's like, no.
I'm so used to long hair.
I know. We're here for styling.
It's cute. It'll be cute.
It is really cute.
Something different. It's fun.
Yeah, so I mean, so many different places that you could wear like something like this just to kind of change up their look. So now I'm gonna go over here to this side. We're gonna do the same thing. And then, will you grab me a couple more of these? So just to kind of recap, the Blonda oil and U oil, those are gonna be your best friends as far as when you're blow drying wet hair to dry. It's gonna speed up your blow drying time. If you're actually doing like a salon, proper salon blowout, then the blow dry cream is great. It's gonna add to the longevity of the blow dry, and it's also gonna speed up your blow dry time. If you're doing up styling or any kind of event styling, you're gonna work smarter, not harder. Don't waste your time curling hair that doesn't need to be curled. You can utilize braids, bobby pins, anything like that.
We got a question here.
Yes.
This may be what you just said product-wise, but best products to use for volume to be able to comb it back out, like a favorite mix of products.
Okay, so for volume, in the salon, if I'm doing like a volume blowout, then I just start with the 7 seconds detangler, the U oil, then blow and set. I feel like people are sleeping on blow and set. It's like literally the best product. You do not feel it on the hair, and it reactivates with heat. Do we use that on every client?
Yes, every client, and it works wonders.
Every client, like, run out of it. And then as I'm blow drying, if we're blow drying together, you can spray Boost to Volumizing spray on the roots. That's gonna give you, you know, bounce that way. If a client comes in and you're styling already dry hair, you can spray Boosta Volumizing all over the hair and blow dry it, and it'll sort of change the texture of the hair so that you're able to, so it doesn't feel so clean. If you want volume that's bouncing from the root out, it's, why am I blanking? Expanda Volume on the roots. That's like our root energizer. That is great for that. If you want volume throughout the hair, then it's Elevate Mousse. That's gonna make every hair fatter. I hope that answered that. That was like a lot.
Well, we got somebody on here that needs to reorder their U oil. Just ran out of my U oil.
Couldn't live without it. It's like, you have to have it.
And Hi Paget says she loves blow and set.
Yes, Paget. How cute is she? Look at
That's
this.
adorable.
So cute.
Okay, I'm gonna put one more pin in, and then I'm gonna turn it around, her around, so you can see like adding that braid on the back, just added this whole look. It almost looks like she cut her hair short, honestly. She's so cute. So honestly, now I'm just gonna finish with a little spray. I'm still in with my Max Control. You could use Boost to Volumizing spray. I love all these bits down, but obviously you could pin them in as well. Any other questions out there in Instagram land? No, okay. So there you go. That is a quick little faux bob on Miss Heather. She could wear this to a party. She could just wear it out if she wanted to try out shorter kind of look on her hair. Yeah, so happy to be back from Fashion Week. If you want to know all about our trip, I'm not going to like steal the thunder because Gary is coming back from, he's in Japan, right?
He is in Japan right now.
He'll be back from Japan. He's got lots of stories to tell, I'm sure. But he's going to give you trends from Fashion Week on March 24th at 10 a.m. So be sure and check that out. He'll tell you all the things that we did and what he sees coming. And yeah, so if you have any more questions about what products to use to speed up your time, any tips of what I do to increase my time, feel free to message us, comment below this video. This video will stay up on our YouTube channel, is that right?
Yep, and Unite TV, on the Lives replay tab as well as our Instagram as soon as we're done here.
Yep.
We do have one question before we go though.
Sure.
Tips for using expanded dust. This person, every time they use it, it has like an insane buildup and a tacky feel. Do you have any thoughts? Maybe
Yes,
using too much?
100%. Will you go in that back room and get expanded dust for me? Do you know? It's like in the little, yeah.
And then they would like you to share IG handles.
Mine?
Yeah.
I'm Allie the Hair Slayer.
And
Like,
then-
follow, tag,
Go
comment.
ahead, Heather.
And I'm Heather Ayerza.
Great. And then we're
Okay,
gonna
I'm
run
getting
through-
expanded dust so I could show you exactly how to do it. One tip though, because that is true, if you don't use expanded dust right, you could get yourself in a big bind. But I found out that glossing spray helps remove product. So if you ever are like, oh shit, I blew it, you could spray glossing spray on it, it will break up the product. So whether it's expanded dust or Session Max, like say you grab Session Max instead of Max Control, easy fix with that. Okay, so this is the product she or he is asking about. It's expanded dust. It feels like it's empty all the time. So what you're gonna do is you shake the product up really good. That's tip one. If you don't do that, it's gonna come out in clumps. All the product is settled to the bottom. Am I good?
Yep. Good to know about the gloss spray.
Okay, perfect. So you're gonna shake it up really good. If you're not fully comfortable with using this product, then my advice is going to be to use the like salt shaker technique. So I'm gonna do it on this piece, even though we don't necessarily need to. So you would just take it and you would dust it on the hair like you're putting salt on food. You can't go wrong if you do it that way. And if I did that and I just barely lightly feathered, I mean, I honestly could probably make her hair stick straight out. So, I mean, you're definitely gonna feel the product on the hair, but that's the best way to get it to distribute evenly, consistently. Okay, so the scary version of doing it is to do it like a puff. Let's see if I get close enough, if you can actually. So see how that comes out like that? That's amazing, but it done in the wrong spot, you're in trouble. So I tend to never do that, but it is like people will go like this and put it through their hair like that to add texture. Watch. So if I go, because I'm not scared of big hair, like that, and I scrunch it in, I mean, it does what it's supposed to do. But if what?
Nothing. It looks great. I like
Whatever,
I
Mike.
like it. It looks fun.
Mike doesn't do hair. Don't listen
I
to
know.
him. Okay, so there's that way. But like a lot of people want to go like this and put it on the hair. You totally can. It's just very scary. So maybe pull a little bit further back or squeeze it out here and then kind of dip into the hair. But yeah, a little goes a long ways. I think a good frame of reference is if the product bottle is small, then that's an inclination that you don't have to use very much.
It's a great tip.
So, yeah, I hope that helped a little bit.
Yeah, so
Okay.
they say helpful, thanks. I think I tend to puff it.
Yeah, so puff is great, but it's scary. Yeah, and then you're like in it, whatever you got. So, should we try to puff in the front here? Oh, see, pro. But I have done it where it totally goes wrong. Yeah,
Awesome.
so there we go. Any other questions? Feel free to reach out. And then check out Gary, like I said, Monday the 24th, 10 a.m. live here. We're gonna do a bunch of videos with Heather now, which I'm super excited about. So stay tuned for those and hope everyone has a great week.